Hello and welcome to the Daily Nature Journal. Today I'm heading back to Holyford Woods for the 4th visit of 2022. I've been going to this woods every month to look at the seasonal changes in the woodland through the year. This is something to look out for. This is going to come into its own in a few months. It's the rose Bay Willow herb, also known as the fireweed. It starts to grow tall early into spring. But we only tend to notice it when it comes out in those bright pink flowers. Even these old brambles, these are last year's leaves. They've got new leaves coming now. It's all just starting to get a bit more lively. This woodland is well known locally for its bluebells. And in late April and early May a lot of people come to see them. They're already starting to come out here. Also here we have these brand new leaves, and these are the leaves of the red campion, and when the bluebells are at their best the red campion tends to grow alongside them here. This video is also going to be available as an extended video on my Patreon. So every single month I'm coming to these woods and I'm trying to identify new species that I haven't seen this year and sharing that in an extended form with my patrons on Patreon. So if that's something you're interested in, come and check out my Patreon using the links in the description below. So let's have a look at some of the plants that we've got in this little patch here. We have some bugle. Look at the purple. We have some new bracken, red campion, and these, they look like stinging nettles but they're not. These are the yellow archangel. Some here. These are stitchwort, and we have a dog violet there. Just turn around and see something really rare and exciting behind me. Moscato, also known as the town hall clock plant, and you've got a flower on every face here, look, one on the top and one on each side, hence the name the town hall clock. But there's lots of this here. This is an indicator of ancient woodland, and quite an unusual and very sensitive species, so it's amazing to see it growing so abundantly here. So that's one for you to remember and look out for if you're in the UK, the town hall clock. Here's something else quite beautiful. There's a little patch of sorrel here. See, the leaves are starting to fold in a little bit. We've got these lovely flowers. Here's some older example of the yellow archangel. You see this one, it's about ready to come into flower. So it is a nettle, but it won't sting you, and it has these beautiful yellow flowers that will be open soon. We might even be lucky and see some further along. Back in February I came along this path and I was picking the first 1 or 2 wild garlic leaves from the soil. Now the path isn't so muddy, and look at the amount of wild garlic that's here. So I've just gathered some that I'm going to take home. And if you look right down among all of the garlic, you can see the flower pods, these buds that are starting to emerge now. And these will open out into balls of wonderful white flowers. All the bluebells here at the top of the steps. There's even some white butterflies fluttering around. First time this year looking up here and seeing leaves. The oak tree on the left has come out. So there's an old wives' tale about the oak and the ash coming into leaf in the spring. Oak before ash, in for a splash. Ash before oak, in for a soak. Look at that. There's a buzzard flying around up there. So now we've got the oak before the ash very clearly here. So that suggests that it's not going to be a rainy summer, if you believe this sort of thing. This one here, this is garlic mustard, and this is another very delicious plant that you can find, very good in salads. You can recognise it by this sort of heart-shaped curved leaf. Do you remember last month we did the orchid hunting game? If you haven't found that, I'll put the link to it in the description below for last month's woodland video. They were quite tricky to spot back then. Now you can't really miss them. So this orchid here is all just about ready to flower. And this one here is a little bit further behind. But you can see these big spotty leaves. So it's grown a lot since last month. And we can see the orchids here, they're growing among the stitchwort, bluebells, primroses and celandine. So it's very colourful here. There is another interesting plant here among the dog violets and the celandine. You see this here. This is called Sennakal. It's a very small, pretty little plant. Tiny little flowers and these balls on, they're sort of purplish white. This is a great indicator of an ancient woodland. It's not very common. You can keep your eyes peeled for that one if you have some ancient woodland near you. Let me know if you are in the UK, if you've seen Sennakal before, and what's the rarest and most interesting plant that you've seen near you. Tell me about that in the comments today. Look at the way that the bracken unfurls, it's very pretty. And then contrast the shape of the bracken with this, the brand new leaves of hartstongue fern. They also unspiral. These are last year's leaves and these are the new ones. We have found one flowering archangel. I hope you all enjoyed today's walk in the woods. It's been a really lovely spring day, even if it's not blue skies. Now I'd love to hear if you have seen any of these before, or are very familiar with them, or what the rarest plant is that you've seen. You can let me know in the comments today. I'll be coming to this woodland once a month for the rest of this year, so make sure you're subscribed to see that. This is going to be an extended form on my Patreon, so if you want to see more of what I've seen today, plus extended videos of all my other visits to the woods, you can go and take a look at my Patreon. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate your support, your likes, your comments and your interactions with me. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.